Lesson 3, rotations. A rotation is a transformation that turns a figure. The 3 rotations that we will focus on in this class are a 90-degree rotation counterclockwise, 180-degree rotation counterclockwise, and 270-degree rotation counterclockwise. I've also given you their equivalent clockwise rotation. You will need to remember that a 90-degree counterclockwise is the same as a 270 clockwise. 180 is the same no matter what direction you go, and a 270-degree counterclockwise is the same as a 90-degree clockwise rotation. So let's begin with the 90-degree rotation counterclockwise. Here's its function. And what that means that you'll do is that you'll change the sign of the y, and then you'll swap the x and y. So for example, what that would look like, just before we move on, just to make sure that you understand, if we had the ordered pair 2, 3, in order to rotate that 90 degrees, we will first change the sign of the y. So our y is 3, changing the sign, that will become -3. After we do that, we'll now swap x and y. So rather than having the 2 come first and the 3 last, the 3 will come first, which is now -3, and the 2 will come last. So we have just made them swap places. Let's try one more. Oh, went too far back. Hold on. Okay, let's try one more. What if we were to have -5, 7? To rotate that 90 degrees, we'll first change the sign of the y. So 7 becomes -7, and then we will swap the order. So it is now -7, -5. Okay, now let's move on. Let me erase that. All right, now let's move on to the 180 degree. Its function is xy becomes -x, -y. For the 180 degree, we change the sign of x and y. So both change. So for example, if we have the ordered pair 2, 3, it will now become -2, -3. Or if we had the ordered pair -4, 3, that would now become 4, -3. So we're simply just changing the sign. If it's negative, it becomes positive. If it's positive, it becomes negative. Okay, and lastly, the 270 degree, xy will become y -x. And what that means is we will change the sign of the x and then swap x and y. Okay, now we're going to move on to our first objective, which is drawing the image. So when it comes to drawing the image, the first thing that you will always have to do is identify the ordered pairs of the pre-image. So here we are given our pre-image, and we know we want to rotate it 90 degrees. The first thing we have to do is identify these ordered pairs. So the ordered pair for S is 0, -2. The ordered pair for T is 1, 0. U is 3, negative 1. And V is 2, negative 4. Now, if we remember our rule for 90 degrees, it is negative YX. So we are going to change the sign of the Y value and then swap X and Y. So let's first look at the negative 2. We must change that sign. So that will become 2. Now we have to swap. So that is now 2, 0. We have to change the sign of the 0. Well, 0 does not have a sign, so we'll actually leave it the same. And once we swap, it will become 0, 1. For U, we need to change the sign of the Y, which is negative 1. So negative 1 becomes positive 1. Swap them. So that is now 1, 3. And then lastly, we have negative 4. We will need to change that sign. It will become positive 4. We'll swap them. It is now 4, 2. Now that you have identified the ordered pairs, now you need to draw the figures. So we're simply going to plot these ordered pairs and label them. So we have 2, 0. This is S prime. 0, 1. T prime. 1, 3. U prime. And 4, 2 is V prime. Connect those points together. And you have now rotated this figure 90 degrees. Now let's look at 180. Now all three of these are the exact same figure, so my pre-image ordered pairs will not change. So I'm simply going to copy these ordered pairs to here. So 0, negative 2, 1, 0, 3, negative 1, and 2, negative 4. So for the 180, we remember that the function is negative x, negative y, which means that we are going to change the sign for both the x and the y. Looking at 0, remember 0 does not have a sign, so that will just remain 0. Negative 2 becomes positive 2. Positive 1 becomes negative 1. 0 stays the same. Positive 3 becomes negative 3. Negative 1 becomes positive 1. Positive 2 becomes negative 2. And negative 4 becomes positive 4. So again, all we did was just change every sign over here. If it was positive, it became negative. If it was negative, it became positive. So now I'm just going to plot these points. 0, 2, S prime, negative 1, 0, T, that is not negative 1. I couldn't see my axis. I'm sorry, hold on. Negative 1, 0 is T prime. Negative 3, 1 is U prime. And negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 2, 4 is V prime. Connect those points together, and you have now rotated this figure 180 degrees. All right, and lastly, we'll look at 270. Again, this is the same figure as the last two, so we're just going to rewrite our pre-image ordered pairs. Okay, and we need to remember our function for 270. It is y negative x, which means that we are going to change the sign of the x value, and then we're going to swap them. So our x value here is 0. We know that it does not have a sign, so let's go ahead and swap them. So this will become negative 2, 0. This x value is 1. Change the sign, it becomes negative 1. Once we switch them, it is 0, negative 1. 3 would become negative 3. Once we switch them, that is negative 1, negative 3. And then finally, 2 becomes negative 2. So our new ordered pair is negative 4, negative 2. Now, go ahead and plot these points. Negative 2, 0 is S prime. 0, negative 1 is T prime. Negative 1, 1, 2, 3. Negative 3 is u prime. And then negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 2, 1, 2 is v prime. Go ahead and connect those. So we have now rotated this figure 270 degrees counterclockwise.